further than David Adamson Designer Jewelry. All work is done in-house and always to your complete satisfaction. Stop in today at David Adamson Designer Jewelry, 830 Ohio Avenue in Lynn Haven. They're on Facebook and at tcjeweler.com.
Attention homeowners, are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Look no further than S&R Fencing, your go-to destination for quality outdoor transformations. At S&R, they specialize in crafting custom fences, decks, retainer walls, and all exterior construction that not only enhances the beauty of your home, but also stands the test of time. Their experienced team takes pride in delivering top-notch craftsmanship with a personal touch. S&R Fencing, locally owned, licensed, and insured, and a member of the BBB.
Serving overseas was just the beginning. We might be home from war, but our mission continues in communities all across the country. It's why we're out there in times of peace and crisis, providing meals to the hungry and supplies to the sick. It's why we're giving strength to those who are too weak and bringing resources to those without them. Service doesn't stop when we're done serving. It's what makes us the VFW. Learn more at vfw.org. No man, no woman, no one left behind. For the VFW, it's a credo that stands long after our fighting days are over, because our service never stops. We're still serving, which is why we pledge to help our own, no matter where they are or when they need us. Standing in lockstep with those who stood so courageously for everyone else. It's what makes us the VFW. Learn more at vfw.org.
Is your body holding you back?
Where do you think you're going? I want to go running. Not with that knee, you're not.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
Let's not pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people in pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
Gotta be kidding me.
Fight for your mobility. Visit anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
I'll take it from here.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you gonna bet.
the Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, good Tuesday morning. It is February 20th. Everybody's back to school and back to work. If they had the day off yesterday, you are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We are live and local on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along that beautiful Forgotten Coast. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. Caveman Rick, how are you doing today? Last but not least, you can download, it's not actually last but not least anymore, Jay. You can download that free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store, depending on if you have that iOS or that Android device. You just got to search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And don't forget now, what do we got rocking and rolling on the old social media, Jay Henley?
TikTok.
We are on TikTok. The Inside Drive is on TikTok. I'm dabbling in my toes. Wanda Henley, your mom is watching.
Yay.
She just commented there. I think she's a anniversary follower, top fan, whatever you want to call it. So we appreciate all of our listeners and followers, and we have quite a population up there in Griffin, Georgia, which is always. I was talking to your buddy Cliff for a good bit last night about the Masters because he was telling me some stories. I got to get him to call in to talk about some of the connections he has, with Augusta National, and I think it was said it was his dad that was a pro.
His father-in-law.
His father-in-law was a pro there, and then ended up going to Shoal Creek. It's like when it opened and all that stuff. So
that's cool.
It's just fun how the whole golf business is very, 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 very tightly connected and all that good stuff. So give us a follow on TikTok. That's Inside Drive. Just search it up. We post a lot of our clips from the show, and I'm working on some behind-the-scenes content as well. We got a good show lined up. We're going to have a good show today. Speaking of good show, that Dusty Slay, I hope you got your tickets because it is sold out.
Yeah.
Just like that. That Comedy Central Netflix special right there at the Captain Anderson's Event Center is sold out.
How about I buy one from you curbside day of?
Nah, we'll see. I don't know what the price is going to be, but we'll find out.
I got you.
We will find out about that. Got a good show lined up for us. As long as everything technology-wise is working for us, we'll have Doc A on the line as we do every Tuesday. We're going to talk a little bit about the NBA All-Star Game. As David mentioned yesterday, there's a lot of mixed comments about the All-Star Game, and we'll dive into that a little bit as well. Talk about, he's got this really cool scramble story that he played in a golf tournament a couple weeks ago that we didn't get to last Tuesday that we'll definitely going to get to this Tuesday, that's for sure. Going to talk a lot in this first segment, a lot of local stuff going on, and as y'all know, we love to support not only high school, but middle school, and all the rec sports, the club teams, all that good stuff. So if you send us content, we will talk about it on the air, and one of those is the big Battle of the Bay baseball tournament coming up on February 24th and 25th. That is this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, that is this weekend. Wait, we're getting close to the end of February already.
Yes, we are.
It's warm out there today. Did you have some lessons this morning?
No, I did not.
Oh, but it's Tuesday, so you have the Florida Panhandle Golf Therapy on.
Yeah, but I had some other things to take care of. Anyways.
Yep.
Long story.
It's getting warmer all day, though. Getting warmer all day and all week. It's only. I think I saw a 7 out there for in front of the highs for Thursday and Friday potentially. So
yeah,
it's getting that time of year. I'm also starting to see some of that yellow stuff landing on, but that's when you know spring's coming. When you start to see that pollen floating around.
Where's it coming from? We don't have any trees here. Where does
pine trees? It still comes from the pine trees. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Okay. There's. I can look out this window behind David, and there's some pine trees out there. There's also some magnolia trees as well. Magnolia grandiflora is the Latin name for that magnolia tree.
Does allergies get you pretty good?
Yeah, it does. I still haven't I take Zyrtec every day, but I haven't completely adjusted yet to the different pollen here.
Yeah.
It took me a few years when I was in South Carolina to get adjusted to that particular profile of pollen. I finally got it, especially during Masters Week. It was just brutal.
Gosh.
But down here, I'm getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah.
And so hopefully maybe it won't affect me as much this year. But it's part of it. It's when you live in those warm climates, you're going to deal with pollen. But I'd rather live in a warm place than a cold place.
You got that right.
That is for sure. So yes, that Battle of the Bay tournament, it is a baseball tournament, is a free play, no team entry. It's presented by the Panama City Pelicans. It's going to be at the Highland Park baseball fields, which is right there off of Sherman Ave. The events to include a social media page with live streaming, daily tournament updates, daily team stats, championship awards, defensive and offensive MVP awards. They'll have full concessions, tournament t-shirts, as well as raffle tickets. They've got travel divisions in 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12U, and they've also got 2 recreational divisions for that tournament. That's going to be 8U and 10U as well. So for more information or registration, give Corey Brookins a call at 850-819-3388. Again, that is the second annual Battle in Bay tournament, and I believe all the funds that they raise from the concessions and the raffle and the tournament items all go to benefiting those Panama City Pelicans. What a great way to raise some money, offer a free competition tournament. Baseball season is getting back underway, not only with the bigs, which is right around the corner. I know first spring training game, I think, for the Braves is this Saturday coming up, so that is exciting. But you got all the local, not only rec, but travel ball is getting going again, and middle school ball is getting going, and Arnold, I don't know about the other high schools, but I do know that Arnold High School had a JV and a varsity game yesterday, and the varsity is off to a 1-0 start after their victory yesterday. So
very good.
It is baseball season, which coincides with golf season, in my opinion. So looking forward to getting that going. Also want to give a shout out to the Nat. As I'm not going to say there wasn't a doubt because they are such a strong team, but the Rutherford Rams girls varsity basketball team continues their state championship bid as they took care of Bulls yesterday, 51-39 on the hardwood, and they move on to take on Bishop Kenny. They're the number 1 seed in Region 1. Rutherford is number 2. So that's going to be a huge matchup coming up. That's going to be on the 22nd, which is what? Friday. Thursday.
And we're going to have Coach Tony Davis on the line with us at 5:40. If the phones are working.
If the phones are working, which they will be. They will be. So, yeah, he's done an amazing job. Been there for, 20-ish years coaching the Rutherford? Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. If I was wrong, I was wrong. That's part of live air, right?
That's
if it's good, if it's not. I mean, you said the capital of Tennessee was Memphis live on air. So anything I say after that, we are good to go in that one.
Set your expectations low. You'll never get disappointed.
And what's beautiful, I've been posting on TikTok, right? So I've been going back and finding some of these clips, and that was when Jay Chapman was in studio with us. And I'm looking forward to him coming back into studio with us on Friday. So you do not want to miss our Friday show, because when the four of us are together on the radio, you never know what we're going to talk about. But
how confident was I whenever I said,
"Hey, the key to life is just being confident." You had me. Usually I correct you pretty quickly. But I had to pause and not say anything while y'all were going on for a good 30, 45 seconds. And I was like, maybe it is Memphis. And I was like, no.
Then I saw you searching it up. Yeah. I'm like, boy, I'm in trouble now.
And I was like, is this true? Is this true? But yeah, Nashville is the capital. My debate was, I knew it wasn't Memphis, but I was like, is it Knoxville or is it Nashville? That's where I got a little confused.
Yeah.
But obviously then Nashville was the correct answer on the Jeopardy question when it came up.
Yeah, and I just always think a big city is the capital of that state. I mean, that's just kind of like probably elementary thinking.
You probably think New York City's the capital of New York as well.
See, that's where I go wrong. That's where I go wrong.
It's confusing. I'll give you credit.
Yeah.
But
New York is Albany.
Yeah.
Albany,
which you should know because there's an Albany in Georgia.
That's right.
There's Albany's everywhere.
There is.
It's also like Decatur. There's Decaturs everywhere as well. But and there's two Roxburys. I grew up in the one. The other one's in Massachusetts. You don't want to go to the one in Massachusetts.
What's wrong with that one?
It's a little dicey.
I got you.
Little like Memphis, some may say.
Yeah.
Some may say. But yes, Jay Chapman will be in studio with us on Friday. Got to give a shout out as well to the UA sports teams. They've got boys basketball, girls soccer, and they're back on the diamond for their second baseball game of the season right there at this one's not at Public Sports Park. They are away somewhere pretty far. I'll pull it up here in a little bit. Remember, I thought I had it off the top of my head, but it flew right out of the old noggin there.
Hey. That happens.
But yeah, so they're the only middle school baseball team here in Bay County, so they have to travel when they're not having home games at Public Sports Park. They got to go elsewhere, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also want to give a shout out to what was it? The Emerald Coast Volleyball Club. It's a girls volleyball club here locally in Bay County, and they had a 14U national team go down this past weekend and compete in a tournament. And I will pull up the information if I was better prepared. Not good at finding text as much as I used to be. There it is. Okay. It was the 14 national team. Again, that's the Emerald Coast Volleyball Club. They won the Nike Gasparilla Volleyball Kickoff. There was 400 plus teams in this particular tournament. Hosted at 2 venues. There was 48 teams in their bracket, and they came out on top with a very exciting final play in the third set. It was about a 2 minute, not 2 minute. It was about a minute long rally that ended up with a nice spike with the Emerald Coast Volleyball Club 14 national team winning that one. So wanted to give them a shout out as well, because that's just cool stuff. Anytime somebody locally here from Bay County is making stuff happen, all you got to do is get me the information and we will talk about it, because as we always talk about, we love our local sports here.
That's right.
You do a lot for the youth. We do a lot for the youth, just trying to give the kids the recognition that they deserve and make sure that people hear about it.
Absolutely. So 400 teams. That is crazy.
That's nuts. That's nuts. That's why we need a massive indoor event center here in Panama City Beach. Because most people travel over there to Foley, Alabama. That's probably the most common place I see people go, especially on the volleyball side of things. But yeah, I know there's some stuff coming down the pipeline. So hopefully that'll all work out good. That is for sure. Again, I mentioned Arnold baseball got the win last night. Rutherford girls are moving on. They're playing on Thursday against Bishop Kinney. Tomorrow night we got I think we're going to go to that one. The Arnold Marlins boys soccer team is playing their rival Booker T. Washington, who knocked them out of the state playoffs last year and beat them in PKs, penalty kicks, Jay, for you. Yeah. That was in the district championship this year. So it's a big one for Arnold. No guarantees there, number 2 team in the nation. But this team, Booker T. Washington, has seemed to have their number a little bit the last few times they played.
And that's here?
That's here, right at Gablack Stadium. I know there's going to be a big crowd for that one. Again, not many opportunities to go see the number 2 high school boys soccer team in the entire country playing right here in our backyard in Bay County. So that's pretty darn cool. That is for sure. I want to get into some weightlifting results as well. I think I got that up and running because I found a nice article that the Panama City News-Herald did, because I've been trying to figure out a way to recognize all these champions. But this all went down this past weekend in Lakeland, Florida, at the RP Funding Center. North Bay Haven saw Grace Masters and Anna Carlson crowned state champions in Olympic lift, while Bay High's Kat Zacharias earned gold in the traditional lift. And this is how all the athletes fared in the competition from Bay County. In Class 1A in the Olympic lift, North Bay Haven was third. Like we just said, Grace Masters earned gold with a 275 total. Anna Carlson, 139, earned gold with a 325 total. Jillian Peden, 169, earned silver with a 340 total. Morgan Rapp, 199, finished fourth with a 290 total. And then Marianne Masters finished seventh with a 205 total. And I know the Afternoon Underdogs have a lot of these wrestlers and weightlifters on all the time. So if you want to hear more detail about some of these unbelievable athletes here from Bay County, make sure you tune into the Afternoon Underdogs every afternoon at 4 p.m. That's a key thing there. Other Class 1A Olympic finishes: Ellie Colwell, 154 from Bay High, finished ninth with a 285 total. And then in the traditional side of things, like I said, Kat Zacharias, 199, earned gold with a 375 total. North Bay Haven Grace Masters, 110, earned silver with a 265 total. And then Bozeman Kim True, 129, earned silver with a 330 total. North Bay Haven Anna Carlson, 139, finished with a fourth with a 330 total. Bay Ellie Colwell, 154, finished sixth with a 320 total. Bay Alyssa Monestra, 110, finished sixth with a 320 total. David, do you know off the top of your head? I know you're a little more involved with this. I'm putting you on the spot. If you don't know, you don't know. Jay doesn't know all the time, so you've got a little bit of a breather there.
I can do it like Jay and just pretend like I know.
Just be confident. Just be confident. What's the difference between the Olympic lifting and the traditional lifting? Do you know that one off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I would say it's how they're lifting.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Other than that, though,
you don't know the specific details.
I failed so miserably right there. I could have just sounded so confident and be like, it's just about how they lift. But no,
one's a clean and the other one's a clean and jerk.
Ooh,
really?
No, I don't know.
That was confident, though. That was confident, and that would make sense. That would make sense. Something like that. I just don't know enough about it to know the difference. But definitely want to keep recognizing in the 2A side of things. On the Olympic lifting side, Mosley had Madison Woodworth, UNL, finished fifth with a 310 total. Arnold had Addison Leglighter, 110, finished eighth with a 235 total. And then Mosley had Torina Rushing, 183, finished sixth with a 285 total. On the traditional side, again, this is the Class 2A state finals. Mosley had Madison Woodworth, UNL, finished seventh with a 365 total. Arnold, Addison Leglighter, 110, finished eighth with a 260 total. Arnold also had Grace Savage, 199, finishing eighth with a 320 total. And Mosley had Torina Rushing again with a 183, finished 10th with a 385 total. And that rounds out all your girls. This was down there again at the state championship for weightlifting in Olympic and traditional. And I feel like David Hayes had some fingers working back there and might have found out our answer.
All right, here are some key differences between the two and how athletes can choose the right style for their fitness goals. Traditional weightlifting. In traditional weightlifting, athletes typically focus on a broader range of exercises that target various muscle groups. The training revolves around exercises like bench press, bicep curls, tricep extensions, leg press, etc. For Olympic weightlifting, also known as Olympic style weightlifting, centers around two main lifts, the snatch and the clean and jerk. So Jay was not far off.
Yeah, he was in the right realm.
At all. For competition and sport specificity, I messed that up. While traditional weightlifting can involve strength competitions, it is not a formalized competitive sport like Olympic weightlifting. For Olympic weightlifting is a recognized sport with competitions held worldwide, including in the Olympic Games. So I think that it's really kind of how Jay said it.
Yeah, like the traditional is a very specific list where the Olympics kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I feel like we would be like number one in weightlifting amongst the world, Americans versus amongst the world. You don't think so?
You ever watch Americans? You ever really don't watch anything outside of America? I feel like
the world's strongest man. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
How many Americans won that?
I don't know.
Hardly any.
Oh.
It was always some guys from Czechoslovakia or Russia or something like that.
I'm thinking of China or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, yeah, no. They do better than us in a lot of other things. Not. I don't know so much about weightlifting. And that, but
there are other countries.
That World's Strongest Man competition always seemed like it was somebody from
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And they like run with the tire like across the.
Yeah, they're flipping like the giant tractor tire and all that stuff. Yeah. We should do a dad bod competition locally and like have all these different random competitions and see who can do the best. I bet we get a good turnout.
That would be.
But there'd have to be some specific qualifications. One of them, you can't go to the gym and exercise. You just got to come flat out of this thing. Like no gym. You can't go to the gym. You can be in shape, but you just can't go to the gym. That automatically disqualifies you.
You can't wax the hair off your chest. Or
you'll actually encourage as much as you possibly can get for this competition as it is. Well, let's make that happen. The Dad Bod Strongman competition, sponsored by somebody. Make it happen. Somebody sponsor it. We'll find a
Who
spot
would be a good sponsor for that though? Like
a barbecue place.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Some ice cream shop.
Yeah.
Oh man, Publix fried chicken. That's the sponsor. Specifically, just the fried chicken.
What do you win? You're getting a pub sub today.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, that's worth the competition. That's for sure. We can have different weight classes, all that stuff. See, we just invented a great competition, the Dad Bod Strongest Man competition, right here in Bay County. I'm gonna need you to take that and run with it, Jay.
Yeah, and the Dad Bod is a whole different beast versus 20 years ago. I mean, like it's a thing now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They make T-shirts.
With the same body.
Yeah, they make T-shirts specifically for dad bods that make you not look like you have a dad bod.
That's right.
But
that's right.
Then you take the T-shirt off and they're like, oh, there's the dad bod.
Skinny jeans don't typically work with that. But
people try it though.
Yeah.
Hey, to each his own. To each his own. That is for sure. We are quickly running out of time in this break. I want to talk about a few other things. We're going to do your tip of the week today because it is Tuesday and we don't have enough time because I don't have enough time to discuss after you give us whatever crazy tip of this week that you're going to give us. Luckily, this week you don't have to give us a love tip of the week, although I thought you did fantastic on the spot last week with your treat every day like Valentine's Day, not just Valentine's Day.
That's right.
And there is 366 days this year. Compared to next year, we'll drop down to that 365.
So no love tip this week.
No love tip this week. That was a once. We'll do it again next Valentine's Day.
You got it.
All right. As long as it doesn't fall on the weekend. But if it does, we're still going to do it.
Yeah.
Lynn Haven Robb said the winner of the Dad Bod competition will win a box of raw chicken.
Yes. Yes. There you go. And I encourage you to cook it before you eat it after you win that box of raw chicken.
That's great.
So, but yeah, we got a couple of those coming up too at the top of the hour. We're going to continue that afternoon delight debrief every day except for Wednesdays. We'll be joined by Keith Fleming on the line, even though I might try to still sneak it in there somehow and get Mr. Fleming's opinion on that. Got a lot of golf stuff to get to today as well, including some interesting changes at Augusta National and the Masters. But when we get back, hopefully we'll be joined by Steve Alexander, better known as Doc A. Talk a little bit about the All-Star festivities over the weekend, maybe the Brooklyn Nets coach that was just fired, and if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, the rookie on the Golden State Warriors that is taking the game by storm, and that is Braden Podziemski, Podziemski. Yeah, speaking of Americans. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back, hopefully with Steve Alexander.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the Inside Drive.
Did you know that the Super Bowl halftime performers do not actually get paid? David did. I didn't know that.
Just recently I figured that out, and that's basically because of all the promotion that they get out of it.
Yes, it's what they're getting paid is that brand equity and brand awareness. Apple Music pays the NFL $50 million.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, sunny and a high of 61 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the west. Clear skies tonight, a calm wind and cool near 48. Sunny and 66 tomorrow with a wind out of the south at 5 miles per hour. 67 and some sun with a moderate breeze at 13 miles per hour Thursday. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. rely on it.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Do you suffer from political talk radio fatigue?
We know that under the 49% rate, the U.S. economy is
Tune into the most fun and exciting new radio show on the Gulf Coast. It's The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive. Always good to hear some Bush Machine Head. It just takes me right back to high school hockey as we used to come out on the ice to this song, and it just gets you fired up. Yes, sir, David Hayes.
You know, that's why this song is in here.
Is it?
From the old station, you had requested it when we were at the old place. You requested it one time when I was running the board for the Coach Hale show. And so,
see, yeah. Full circle. It'll get you going. Just gets those juices flowing. It's perfect timing because it's Tuesday and it's 11:20, and hopefully everything's working technology-wise. But if it is, we've got our good friend of the Inside Drive, writer for over 20-plus years. He's in the NBA Fantasy Writers Hall of Fame, and that is Dr. A. Steven Alexander. Steve, how are you doing today? Well, maybe the technology's not working, Jay. I'm going to need you to take this segment by storm.
Doc A, are you there?
He's probably there. We can't hear him. Maybe the people out there in the world can hear him. We need him. I want to hear this scramble story.
I do, too. He's got some great stories. Want to see how his daughter's doing in the driving aspect of things.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the story.
Well, that was his son.
Or his son, I'm sorry.
That was his son.
Yeah.
But he did great on the road test. It was just when he was backing up, he backed up over some cones and then had to pull some cones out there. But yeah, we'll keep trying if we can get him on there. But what happened last night in the postponed, rescheduled All-Star game? All-Star game. I don't know why the heck I said All-Star game. I meant to say Daytona
All-Star game.
I meant to say Daytona 500. I apologize.
Which, looking back on that All-Star game, I know David talked about it yesterday. All-Star game has changed quite a bit over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a straight-up show. And
it's entertainment, purely. Yeah, I mean, if you expect people to play defense, that's not the game you want to watch.
Yeah, and half-court shots. I mean, you saw a few half-court shots.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that. I would like to have seen a little bit better defense. I mean, I just feel like they just kind of went up just for shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody was in their face or anything like that. But anyways, that was over the weekend.
Doc, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there he is. We can hear you, Doc. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing good. Just been working through some phone. Technology's great when it works, but it's always on the mend. That's for sure. And but we'll embrace it while we got you on the line. So hope you had a good weekend. Enjoyed the All-Star festivities, and would love to hear your thoughts. All the way through, starting with the 3-point contest, dunk contest, and then of course the All-Star game, which has mixed feelings. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, and if you understand what the All-Star game is going into it, knowing you're not going to see a lot of defense and it's just purely entertainment where you're just seeing a ton of points being scored, that's one thing. There was obviously been a lot of criticism as well, being it's boring and why am I watching this kind of stuff. But, let's get your thoughts on the whole All-Star weekend.
Well, I'm pretty proud of my tweet I threw out there. I think I tweeted on Thursday. I was like, every single year people get bent out of shape about which guys get snubbed from the All-Star game, and then everybody gets excited about All-Star Weekend, and then everybody on Monday morning is like, I don't know why I watched that. That was a travesty. And that happens every single year for the last 20 years. So, and then Stephen A. Smith this morning was like, that was an absolute travesty, what we watched. And can you guys still hear me?
Oh, yeah, we got you.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So the game itself, and my sister-in-law, I don't think even watches very much NBA basketball, is like, they need to raise the goals to 12 feet. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not maybe bad. Just for the All-Star game. Yeah, not a bad thought.
You need to calm down and never watch the All-Star game again, is what I told her.
Yeah,
so
that's fair. It's an in-law. You're allowed to say stuff like that.
I'm always good. I mean, I'm always like in the 80s, guys. I mean, with Dominique and Jordan were dunking against each other, and Larry Bird was in the 3-point contest. Like, that was the heyday. That was like, I would base my entire weekend around making sure I would see the dunk contest live. Like, that was such a big deal. And then, then 2000s got here, and it kind of ran its course. And they tweaked everything, and it got weird with guys missing like 10 dunks in a row. And
yeah.
Still out there dunking. Chris Anderson comes to mind. And so I think the dunk contest is kind of fixed. Like it's okay. And I feel like the 3-point contest is okay. But the game itself, no one cares. Like, the players don't care. They have no incentive to go there and try hard other than self-pride. They don't play any defense in it. They're shooting, 180 3-pointers in the game. And it's unwatchable trash, in my opinion. And anybody who watches that game is going to come out of there, and they're the guys that are telling me, oh, I can't watch today's NBA. I miss the Jordan and Bird days. And it's rough.
But the pity party they were giving these players of how much they had to do throughout the week to lead up to the game. I mean, come on, you're an all-star. I mean, pull through this and play a decent game, right? Like,
we need Kobe Bryant to come back.
Yeah.
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 That's true.
Well, and they're really. Who was it? I was reading a quote from somebody. They were like, my job. Oh, Larry Bird. I was watching a show on him the other day, and he was like, the Celtics were paying me to play basketball. So I felt like whether I was hurt or not, I need to be out there every single day trying to help them win basketball games. And I just don't know that people have that mindset anymore. But at least this regular season, outside of the All-Star game, we're seeing a lot less load management. We're seeing guys like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George power through these games. We haven't had a lot of major injuries, and in my opinion, it's been a pretty solid NBA regular season.
Yeah, definitely.
I started to fall more in love with the game again, kind of just like tempering my expectations, knowing that the game has changed. And even watching the All-Star game was like, well, I know that these guys don't care, so why should I care anymore? So in that way, watching it from that viewpoint, I was able to enjoy it a little bit. But I do wish, like, to me, it was the West was playing a possession-by-possession game. Essentially, if we missed, we weren't even going to go after the rebound or whatever. If the East, the way that they won is just by rebounding a little bit more and being younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it takes. And, I was hoping, the two guys I was really focused on, I wanted to see Luka do something. He really didn't do anything because I don't think he really cared. I don't think he tried that hard. And then I wanted Tyrese Halliburton to win the MVP. I think he hit 10 out of 14 shots. I think he could have won MVP over Dame Lillard. And the Dame Lillard thing is interesting because he won the 3-point contest. He won the MVP award. He's had a really quiet season playing alongside Giannis. And then he came out this weekend and listed his top 5 players, his top 5 All-Stars, and he did not list Giannis as one of those. And, Dame's not playing a lot of defense in Milwaukee. They're not as good as they were supposed to be. And you have to wonder if he's a little not happy about not being the center of attention being around Giannis.
Yeah, that's something I feel like you see a little bit more so than ever nowadays with all these professional sports is like, and the reason I say that is because somebody had reported yesterday that Justin Fields had unfollowed the Bears on his Instagram or whatever it was.
Oh, that'll do it.
And that just sounds so so childish and trivial to talk about, but it's a real, that's the reality of what we're dealing with now with these athletes. So that leads to speculation and all that stuff because it's just all so bizarre. But yeah, overall, I mean, I thought it was a fun weekend, and I thought the WNBA NBA challenge was pretty cool between Steph Curry and I forget her name again. I forgot yesterday as well.
Ionescu.
Yeah,
Sabrina.
Sabrina. Yeah,
that's all I know.
Yeah, Kenny Smith's catching some heat for his commentary on that. Kenny Smith just shouldn't. I don't know. He shouldn't be allowed to talk that All-Star weekend. But
he's not really
I thought that was pretty
background.
I thought that was pretty cool that they did that, and I thought it was cool that Steph went out there. I mean, let's be real. If Steph gets beat in that competition, that's major headlines.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
he was really putting his rep on the line. She went out there and hit 26, which I think would have got her into the finals.
Yeah,
against the other guys.
Yeah, it's not like she went out there and made it easy for him. She went out there and I think she was she made I think she made every shot from the first corner.
She did,
and then made all of them from the wing. She missed the starry ball. She missed that one and then kept going. So I mean, you had to think Steph was pretty nervous, but with the amount of 3-pointers he shot in his life, that's like second nature. That's like Jay Henley hitting a little stinger 7-iron.
Come on.
You hear so much about Caitlin Clark, but you don't hear a lot about Ionescu. So the fact that she went out there and did that, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. And that we talked a little bit about yesterday, but the rumors of her and Caitlin Clark pairing up against Steph Curry, and I think Dame Lillard is who they said, I think would be pretty cool. Anytime you can have that crossover, and she was shooting from the men's 3-point line. Yeah, she was still using the normal ball she shoots, but the fact that she was shooting from the men's 3-point line, I mean, I thought that definitely gave an advantage to Steph, but it didn't seem to phase her at all.
Yeah, she shouldn't be practicing from there every day like he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That was cool.
Doc, I was going to ask you a question. Me and Ryan, all three of us have been, throughout the week, been talking about rules.
It's only Tuesday.
Oh, it is Tuesday, isn't it? Man.
But, I mean, throughout the week was yesterday, so we're good. We talked about it.
But the rules being eliminated in certain sports, is there a rule in NBA that you would like to see go bye-bye?
What sparked that conversation is when Jordan Spieth signed for an incorrect scorecard on Friday during that Genesis Open.
Right.
And he got disqualified. I still think that's one of the most stupidest rules in golf in this day and age. So we kind of had the conversation, if there was one rule in the sports you'd like to see either go away or change, what would it be? And I don't know if there's anything that comes to your mind. It's a good question, Chad.
I don't know if I have a specific one rule, but I mean, bring back hand checking and let the defenders put arms and bodies into these offensive players, because they've made it so ticky-tack, touch, foul in the NBA now. That's why these guys are able to get so free and so open and make everything look so easy and make my 5'1" sister-in-law think that they should play on 12-foot goals.
Yeah. When you're not able to defend hard and tough like they used to, it makes that stuff certainly a lot easier.
And the rules are set up for the offense, and the rules are set up so we can have a 200-point team in the All-Star game. And, a lot of people are okay with that, and a lot of people are like, oh, man, this new offense is... the Pacers are the highest scoring team in the league under Rick Carlisle, and I never thought that we would see that in my lifetime. And a lot of that is because Ty Halliburton is so good, but I would rather see them go back to locking down some of these offensive players, because they're training from such a young age. They're basically professionals from the time they're in 6th or 7th grade until they get to the NBA. And they're so good that the defense has no chance. So I'd rather see the defense get a little help.
I was just thinking about the backcourt rule. I mean, why just eliminate that? Because I mean, is there something about backcourt that very strategic in the NBA? Or, I mean, not really, right?
I mean, it would allow you not to trap kind of against the center line, when you're playing on your half-court offense, even though nobody really does. That's the only thing that kind of come to my mind.
Back in 1942, when there was no shot clock, you had to get the ball up the court. You could just stay back there all day and run it out. Today's offense, I mean, everybody's running, everybody's pushing the ball. I don't know why that rule is still there. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Why is there a 10-second clock? I don't know.
Yeah, let's get Stern on the horn and see if we can get something changed. That's for sure. Hey, Doc, we got about 3 minutes left. We weren't able to get to it last week, but we got to hear. We're a very golf prominent show here on the Inside Drive. Got to get to your scramble story from a couple weeks ago.
So basically, that was my long REM reunion weekend. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but all the members of REM were on stage at the 40 Watt Club in Athens. And me and my buddy were there, and we were sitting with the band. And it was a very long weekend. I'll just say that. And we got home on Friday, and my buddy was here from Cincinnati. We're staying up late and being crazy. And I think I went to bed at 6 a.m. on Saturday. He dropped me off the golf course at 9:30 for our 10 o'clock scramble. And I didn't pull a club out of the bag. I didn't warm up. I didn't do anything. I just went out there. And I felt so relaxed. I felt so good. It was the first tournament of the year. I hit the ball good all day. We started off birdie, eagle, birdie. I was like, man, we're gonna do well in this thing. We can keep it going. So we get down to the last 3 holes. And we've got a ball on the green, 25 feet. I'm the D player with my 14 or 15 handicap. So I'm the guinea pig. I'm the first putter every time. I'd knock in this 25-foot birdie putt on 16. And everybody goes crazy. And like, oh, my God, that was awesome. And then our big hitter hits it 15 yards short of the par 4 green on 17. And I'm about 50 feet from the hole. I've Texas wedged it 50 feet, bang, hits the pin, goes in.
Nice.
So that's for eagle. Whew. And then we get to the last hole. It's par 3. We're 25 feet again. My old dude I'm playing with, here's your line. Hit it right over the spot right here. Hit over that spot right there. Bang. 25 feet in the cup for birdie. Man. So I had 3 of the longest putts I've ever hit in my life, back to back to back, and we won the whole thing. So wow. It was spectacular.
That's pretty peak.
That is awesome
when it comes to scramble tournaments, especially at an REM reunion event. That's pretty cool. What course was it played at? Was it at Athens Country Club?
No, I was back home in Shasta, my little club here.
Okay,
in
gotcha. No, that's awesome.
But when your D player is dropping 25,
that's how you win scrambles. That's how you win scrambles.
That's how you do it. And we used a bunch of my shots all day. For some reason, I played a lot better that day than I have been playing. So
well, the formula apparently is stay up late partying the night before, don't warm up, head right out to the cart, probably get you a little cocktail to get going, and then just hop out there. Maybe swing the orange whip a couple times, I don't know, but then just let it ride, and you got all the confidence in the world.
There's a thing out there in Golf Digest, I don't know if we pulled this up or not, about the 10 signs of you're playing with a sandbagger.
Yes, we did talk about that.
We pulled that up, and I check 7 or 8 of those boxes every time I go out there. But I'm not a sandbagger. I just appear to be one.
Yeah, you're a sandbagging sandbagger. You're
until you see my scorecard, then you're like, oh yeah, he's probably not bagging.
That's funny.
That whole band REM plays golf, right? It seems like the drummer, when I was at UGA Golf Course back in 2007, he would play there maybe once a week, the drummer for REM.
Yeah, I think Mike Mills, the bass player, and Peter Buck and Bill Berry, we're all pretty golfy guys. I don't think Mike plays a lot of golf, but I know Mike Mills still plays a lot. He plays a lot. Wherever Hootie and Darius Rucker is, I feel like Mike Mills is always there playing celebrity golf with him. But
it's weird how music and golf kind of intertwine. isn't it? I mean, it's seems like
it's that rhythm and balance that you always talk about.
There you go.
You got to have that rhythm in order to be a good golfer,
That's
and
right.
you obviously have to have good rhythm to be a good musician. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Doc, we appreciate your time as always. Glad we got the phone line working there because it's always a pleasure to talk to you here on the Inside Drive. We look forward to doing it again next Tuesday. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, you guys too. Thanks.
Thanks, Doc. We will be right back here on the Inside Drive live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
We need to go up north and bring Ohio State into the SEC.
I'm living for the day. I'm living for the day.
That ain't gonna happen. I tackled him. I grabbed his leg, wouldn't let him go. Got a picture with him. Up in Hoover.
We need to talk about that, if you don't mind, James.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
We're starting fresh.
Fresh new start.
Locally sourced, Farm to Radio. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is live and local. From the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back after visiting with our good friend Doc A. He's definitely going to come down sometime this summer, so looking forward to getting him to come down and stay down and then join us live on the air because, we've never met him in person.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the cool things, right? It's like one of those stories that you have, like, you see it with kids, and you've even seen it with some adults. They play, because you got online video games nowadays, right? So you got all these people developing these relationships with people they've never met in person, and then they do finally meet in person. It's pretty cool. So
when I was in cubicle, we'll call it cubicle hell, if you will. I had, you talk to people all throughout the country, and you get that vision of what what they look like.
Yep, and it's never what they actually look like.
It's never the same. So it is so much humor just getting to meet someone that you've been talking to for a year.
Absolutely.
Anyways,
it's almost like a blind date.
Yeah, right. Those are great.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I'm sure you have some experience in that neck of the woods. But it is Tuesday, and that means only one thing. It's time for David Hayes to hit my favorite sounder of the week, because you never know what he's going to talk about or say. And that is...
It's Jay's Golf Tip of the Week.
What are we going to do, Ryan?
I don't know. It's your segment, not mine. It's the one time you actually have to come up with something on this show.
Okay.
Other than the other, 2 times 5, that's 10 less 3 minutes. So, yeah, basically 9 hours and 57 minutes of me coming up with stuff. You've got to cover 3 weeks out of the whole week. So, what do you got for us?
Set expectations.
Okay.
All right. So, if you are trying to maybe break 100.
Okay.
Go to the forward tees. Go to the number 4 tees if you're playing at Bay Point. Go to your forward tees at Signal Hill, wherever it is, and go play it 5 or 6 times and get an average of that and see where you're at. I think a lot of people quit this game because they set their expectations too high, and it's just you got to, and look, if you're somebody who plays the forward tees, let's just say a lady.
Yeah.
Why don't you move out into the fairway, maybe 200 yards on a par 4 or 100 yards on a par 3, whatever that may be. But, yeah, it's just, like I said, setting expectations.
Yeah, realistic, right?
Realistic.
And we've talked a little bit about that before. But, yeah, I mean, it's, you see so many people get turned off from the game because, it is so difficult to play golf at a consistent high level. Yeah. So if you move up a little bit, who cares? Don't let your ego get in the way.
Right.
Play from a tee that you can enjoy and have. So essentially, move up.
Yeah.
Move up. Play it forward. Go have some fun.
And I did that the other day. Well, it's been a few weeks now, but I went out and just played the forward tees at Bay Point and, putted everything out and shot 70.
Yeah.
Right? But the course rating for someone of my ability level, I should have shot 63.
Yeah.
The course rating is 63.
Rating 63 for guys from that. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sets your expectations. Yeah. And, because I can't go out and say, okay, I'm going to go shoot 70 or 71 today from the 2 tees because I can't do it off the 4 tees.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Yeah,
just an
good.
idea.
That's good. A little food for thought there.
Yeah.
A little food for thought from Jay Hindley's tip of the week.
Yes.
Wish I had a voice like that where I could do some cool sounds.
That was pretty good.
That wasn't very good. That was awful.
Like Joanna's voice?
Hers is a little more robotic than the rest of ours, but it's consistent. It's always the same. It's impressive how she can keep that octave in the same pitch every time she talks.
She better not be off on this forecast in the next
I know.
days. Because it's
Don't tease us.
Mighty fine.
It is looking mighty fine. It's some golf weather. It's some outdoor pickleball weather. It's some, flag football. It's baseball season. All that good stuff. High school baseball just got underway. Excited about that. College baseball is getting up and going. But I want to get y'all's thoughts a little bit on this little memo that the PGA Tour sent out. So Tiger Woods obviously was in the news big time this last week for many reasons. We talked about it at length last week. That not only the Sunday Red, he was making his first official start this year on the PGA Tour that ended with a withdrawal because of end up getting the flu. But he played 24 holes at Riviera Country Club, and again that new Sunday Red apparel. And he was wearing some of the, I don't know if you noticed, he was wearing Sunday. I don't want to say Sunday Red because it's not. It's Sunday Red. Yeah. He was wearing Sunday Red golf shoes as well, which were certainly interesting. But Woods explained before teeing it up on Thursday he didn't even want that Tiger Woods logo anymore. And he debuted that logo right in the year 2000, just before he won the Tiger Slam, which we all remember. That 2000 year was one of the most dominant years by an individual athlete in professional sports history. But before he teed it up on Thursday, he told everyone that he didn't even want that logo anymore, telling everybody very matter-of-factly that he did move on. But a report published by NLU's Kevin Van Valkenburg published this week illustrates just how desperate Woods is to distance himself from Nike. So much so, PGA Tour staff, we can hear that, Jay. Sorry. It's okay. So much so, PGA Tour staff were reportedly told before the Genesis that going forward, they must only share imagery and video content of Woods on tournament channels in his Sunday Red clothing. Basically meaning anything posted by PGA Tour social media marketing people have to only include the Sunday Red stuff. It can't be Nike, can't be the TW logo, can't be anything. So meaning basically any other footage besides from this Genesis Open is not postable by PGA Tour staff. The memo went on to say he is in transition, he has moved on, and nostalgia doesn't interest him. A memo even circulated within the PGA Tour this week informing employees that no historical footage of Woods and Nike gear will be shared on tournament social channels going forward. Every image of him from now on will have to feature him wearing Sunday Red. I will say my first thoughts on that, being doing a lot of social media work myself, content is key in the social media world, and that certainly limits their content from basically a couple practice rounds and 24 and a half holes. But what do you think about that? What's your initial thoughts on Toods? Tiger Woods just saying, you know what, forget it. I really don't. And it might be a push to make sure he's promoting his new brand as well. But, thoughts?
Why reinventing the wheel? Because the TW, that's what I think of whenever I see Tiger Woods. Yeah. I don't know if Nike had some sort of copyright. I don't know if
that was a Nike logo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So he had to move away from
because Because when you know, in the green grass side of things, selling Nike apparel, when I used to sell Nike apparel, you know, you had Nike apparel, but you also had within the Nike golf apparel, you had the TW brand line. They had hats, they had gloves, they had polos, pullovers, all that stuff. It was specific to the TW versus just Nike. So they had their own kind of brand identity within a brand.
It'll turn to gold no matter what it looks like, in my opinion. I mean, just with what Tiger's done throughout his career and how many people follow him now. You know, I'm a little off on the whole. I don't like the way that he's playing golf right now. I think I've made it pretty evident, pretty clear.
Yeah.
Like, don't quit.
You're coming over to our side.
Yeah, don't quit. And
we'll get Keith there eventually.
But I mean, you know, you get a little bit of a flu and then you decide to quit. But, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah, some of us coach flag football after having a brain tumor removed 48 hours before. Not that I'm saying that's compared to Tiger Woods playing, you know, golf at the highest level. I just had to throw that in.
I
didn't want to, but I had to. It just felt like the right time. You teed it up there for me.
Yeah, I did.
David Hayes, what do you think about this whole situation? You know, what are your thoughts on, you know, him just saying, you know, you guys can't use old footage of me wearing Nike and Tiger Woods apparel?
Propaganda. I mean, it's one of those that kind of takes everything that I said yesterday and trying to be like, well, you know, maybe he's not so selfish. Like, no, this is all about the brand, and that's what it's about. And it's like, you know, he's going to continue to move the needle for the PGA Tour.
No doubt.
But now it's like, you know, as each one of these goes by, myself, like, and it's not like I watched a single second of the Genesis Invitational. And normally I don't unless it's a major. I watch some highlights every now and again, but now it's like, okay, Tiger Woods is playing in the tournament. I could care less.
Yeah.
Like, what? All right, you'll be there for a day and a half. Cool.
Yeah.
Good for you. Your stuff's way too expensive. If that's what you're worried about is your brand, honestly, and that's in a lot of different things. If that's what you care about is like your brand and making money off of people, then all right, whatever. Like, good for you. Do your thing. But for me, I get it. That's the way that the world works. But that's just not the way I'm working right now. So.
Until we start taking cameras away from him when he's 8 over par through, you know, we're going to continue to hear Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. Whoever, I mean, like, we got to take the cameras off of him.
My mom says that all the time when we're watching like a golf tournament and like Tiger's not even relevant.
Yeah.
Like, why do they keep showing him? Because that's what the people want to see, I guess. You want to see him struggle. I mean, rather watch the leaders and all that good stuff. But it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I mean, you kind of said it there.
And it's funny too, like Tiger shanking on 18. Oh, he's one of us. He's been one of y'all, man. Like, come on.
He gets up every morning and puts his pants on one leg at a time, as Jay Henley would say.
Not even just saying that. He's been hitting bad shots for, you know what I'm saying, a while with all of the withdrawals and everything.
Yeah.
And you know, it's fun when we see these golfers who do shank one or miss a close putt, but it's not the same Tiger, and that's okay. If he was playing these tournaments because he felt like there's something that he's chasing in the game of golf, that's, you know, I can respect that. I do respect that. But if it's only about trying to rebuild this brand, then good luck with that. I'm sure it's going to be successful. It's Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
You know, like there's
one of the
no doubt
largest
about that,
individual sports brands in the entire world. It was 24 years ago when he did the Tiger Slam.
Yeah.
24 years ago.
And see, that's
almost a quarter century of time that has went by since he was. I mean, he was dominant after that too, but that was peak.
Right.
That was peak Tiger Woods early on in his career.
Well,
you got a good caveman. Go ahead.
No.
Yeah, Tiger Woods needs to be checked for CTE. Yeah, we could say that one on there. I can't see what the emoji he used was, but yeah, you know, you never know.
It was like I said, I was with my buddy Cliff in 01 at Augusta, and I had never been to Augusta before. That was
the best. The
first
time at Augusta.
The first time it was 01, and we didn't have HD television at the time. And so you're going to this Augusta National, you're seeing the perfect grass, you're seeing all of this, and you see Tiger for the first time in his peak. And I'll never forget it. I mean, it's like he was walking up 16, and we had just walked through the gate.
Tough to see him, though, in that day, in those days at Augusta.
Yeah.
You had to be way far in advance before he got there, because if you tried to walk with him, you were, 5, 6, 7 rows deep.
Right.
And Augusta, there's grandstands, but a lot of it's just walking and trying to get a glimpse. But go ahead.
No, I was 21 years old at the time, and I was like, you would have thought I was, Charlie at the Wonka factory, at the chocolate factory or whatever. But I mean, it was just amazing. But, now, he's just like to go back. Yeah. He's just human, like all of us.
Like David Hayes said, he's just another guy.
Yeah, so
he just happened to be really good at golf for a long time.
Yeah.
Now he should have started this Sunday Red thing a little while back.
Right.
Maybe a little relevant. Yeah. Man, I didn't expect that to take up the entire segment. That is for sure. But when we get back, it's that time, Jay. It's the Afternoon Delight Debrief, and you've got a couple articles that you're going to read for us that are going to be kind of fun, and we'll break down and discuss. And again, big shout out to Cliff Austin for bringing this idea to the table. And if everybody wants to send us some funny, crazy stories, there's tons of them out there, but we'd love to have some of our listeners send in those stories as well. You can message our Facebook page at any time, or you could go on our TikTok page and message us there as well. We'd love to hear some of those. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive. We'll be right back with the Afternoon Delight Debrief.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the most college basketball.
Three-pointer, college basketball is back.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
The SEC, ACC, and beyond.
Oh, you saw that coming, Rampant.
The biggest games play right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, sunny and a high of 61 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the west. Clear skies tonight, a calm wind and cool near 48. Sunny and 66 tomorrow with a wind out of the south at 5 miles per hour. 67 and some sun with a moderate breeze at 13 miles per hour Thursday. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at instantReplaySportsCards.com.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
There's nothing more satisfying than helping you find the perfect vehicle. And this month, find something you love at just 2.99% APR on our most popular models, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Like the 2024 Camry with stylish good looks and impressive performance. Or the 2024 Corolla, built for comfort and style with top-notch tech. Panama City Toyota, for over 30 years, where relationships are born.
Offer expires March 4th. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
For the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. One of my favorite times of the day now, because we're not only doing the afternoon debrief, but we're talking about our amazing studio sponsor, and that is Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. You can find them at the corner of Frankfort Avenue and 23rd Street. You cannot miss them. Literally, if you are driving down 23rd Street, you cannot miss them. And they usually have a beautiful truck parked with a boat and a trailer right behind it that you can take home and be yours. But not only do they have brand new vehicles in stock, they will buy your car. They'll give you tires at cost. They'll service your vehicle. And they got a big scratch and dent sale going on right now. And the beautiful thing about that is not all those vehicles are scratch and dent, but they are all discounted, Jay Henley, and that is all that matters.
Darn near every one of them.
Darn near every one of them. They will make it easy, and they'll take great care of you.
That's right.
I hear that in my sleep.
I do too.
Just a great ad. Mr. Chris Kramer does a wonderful job getting behind that TV camera for all those cool commercials. We need to get him back in studio.
I know.
We need TikTok content, so we need Chris Kramer to come back in studio. So
it's always fun when he's here.
Absolutely. I'll see him tonight at baseball practice. Looking forward to seeing him and Sawyer and the rest of the Panama City Padres using that. I'm going to talk a little bit about jerseys later on because there's a little hot topic going on right now with those new MLB baseball jerseys. But not only Bill Kramer GM, you've got Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They're selling all those CRI boats, Seabourn, Sundance, Spider, as well now as Jay's favorite boat,
Skeeter.
One day we're going to get him going and we're going to get that man a Skeeter boat. You can keep it right there in the parking lot and you don't even have to take it out there in the bay.
It's just so fun to just say Skeeter.
Yeah, unless they're landing on you.
Yeah.
Because if a Skeeter boat's landing on you, it's not good.
No, that's
if
not
a Skeeter's
good.
landing on you, that's not good either.
No.
It's about to be that time, but Panama City or the mosquito control does a great job in this area of really knocking down a lot of those bugs, which we appreciate. So Kramer Marine and Outdoor right there, right behind Bill Kramer GM. They got lots of new boats in stock. They'll come out and their mobile service will get your boat back out on the water right there at your dock. If they can't do it, they'll bring it back to the dealership, get it fixed up for you. And of course, if you're looking to sell your boat and you've had enough fun in your boat, fishing and all that good stuff, they will sell that boat for you. They'll get it fixed up first. They'll take care of all the hassle of trying to sell it with, Facebook Marketplace and people negotiating and all that. They will handle all that for you. They'll make it easy, and they'll just take a small little percentage as part of that. But as I mentioned, going out of the last break, it is that time. It is the Afternoon Delight debrief. Jay, what you got for us today?
Ryan, have you ever seen a koala bear with some serious mad skills?
No, I've only seen a koala bear here at Zoo World, and they usually typically move very slow.
Man, I tell you what, you got to get this kind of going, though. You got to go brown chicken, brown cow.
Oh, man, where are we going with
brown
this?
Brown chicken, brown cow. This koala bear was found inside a lady's home dancing on a pole.
Interesting. Where was this located? Let's
Australia.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
More the koala side of things, less the koala pole dancing, but continue.
Last year, Nikki Erickson shared a few photos of Facebook of the gray and fuzzy intruder that had walked in through an open door and managed to climb up a pole inside her home in southeast Queensland, Australia. She also posted a video of the koala trying to climb the pole, but the settings on that post made it visible only to her friends on Facebook.
Not smart. You got to make that public so you can go viral.
Yes. She told the Huffington Post of a Facebook message, more recently, pole performer Michelle Shimmy asked Erickson to make the video public so that she could share it on Facebook. Shimmy called it one of the most incredible and beautiful pole performances she had ever seen when she shared it. The throwback video has now gone viral, prompting multiple news outlets to write about the pole dancing koala this week in Australia.
Interesting.
How about that?
Interesting. So many questions. I guess my first question is, why did this lady have a pole in her house? Was it like a bar stool pole?
That's a good question.
So first off, where did the pole come from? That's my initial thought. So is the koala not the only one doing things? I don't know. It's down under. They do things a little different than we do here in the States. But
yes, they do.
I don't know. And then, second token, that's what koalas do, right? They climb on the eucalyptus trees and hang out and try to eat some of that eucalyptus. But hey, that koala's got to pay for college too. So you really don't know what you got to do. What are your thoughts on this first story?
Man, I don't know. Were there some psychedelics involved with this?
They say eucalyptus may have a little bit of that stuff going on with it. It's like koala bears are high all the time. I don't know. I don't know if that's a fact or not.
I don't know either.
Never eaten eucalyptus leaves, so I can't speak from personal experience.
It would freak me out, though, to walk in.
Yeah, you just walk in and there's a koala.
Yeah.
Did she put on some music? Or was she just doing this at the beat of her own head?
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Yeah, we know you got that going. But yeah, I don't know. Koalas dancing in Australia.
Yeah,
another crazy story. That's for sure. That's for sure. I think we got one more. David Hayes, you want to chime in at all on the koala pole dancing down there in Australia?
I just like the brown chicken, brown cow. There from
I hadn't heard that in a long time either, by the way. Felt like I went back to third grade.
Hey, whatever I can do to, regain our youth. Right?
That's right. You can't give it up. You can't give it up. You ever been down to St. Augustine and drank from the Fountain of Youth?
I have not.
I have. It's not very good.
When you said that, it reminds me of that Ryan Reynolds movie where they switched each other's lifestyle. One was single, one was married.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I never saw it though, but I'm sure it was good. I'm sure it was good.
But they were peeing in the fountain.
In the Fountain of Youth?
It was a fountain up in Atlanta somewhere.
Oh gosh,
the fountain of old.
The fountain of old.
Yeah. Here's another one for you. A traveler returning from Africa was stopped by U.S. Customs and Border Protection at Boston Logan International Airport after a canine sniffed out something unusual in their luggage. 4 mummified monkeys were discovered in the man's bag. The traveler was coming back from a trip to the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yep.
There's no telling what you find in Congo.
Well, in Busch Gardens, you can find the Congo River.
There you go. There you go.
Baggage from foreign flights arriving at Logan Airport goes through a preliminary screening with a CBP canine, the agency said. During the screen of a Delta flight from Paris, a canine named Buddy alerted his handler to a specific piece of luggage. The owner of the bag, who was not identified, told officers it contained dried fish. But after inspection, CBP said officers found 4 dehydrated monkey bodies. According to the agency, minimally processed meat from wild animals, such as monkeys, is referred to as bush meat in some parts of the world, including Africa.
However, chicken, monkey meat, it's all the same.
It's all the same.
We're connecting the 2 days worth of afternoon delight debriefs. Continue.
However, this is like at lunchtime too. This is crazy.
Makes me hungry.
Yeah. However, these types of meat pose a risk of carrying communicable diseases, so they are not allowed into the United States. The potential dangers posed by bringing bush meat into the United States are real, said the Boston area port director Julio Caraveria in a press release. Bush meat can carry germs that can cause illness, including the Ebola virus.
Ooh. It's like outbreak all over again.
Well, this is another CDC deal.
Man.
Yeah, this is back to back.
We're kind of hanging in that
full circle.
Yeah.
Kind of hanging in that world a little bit.
Here we go. Officers contact the Center for Disease Control, which has regulatory authority over primate material. The CDC detained the mummified monkeys and requested that Delta Airlines either destroy the bags they were in or return the bags to France. Man.
France is like, we'll take it. We don't care. USA is like, nope, no mummified mummies for us.
You got that right.
Got to give Scripps News credit for that particular story. But yeah, wild stuff there. I mean, first off, what did he say? He said it was dried fish.
Yes.
Is what he tried to use the excuse as.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to be able to figure it out. Like, but what was the end goal? Of these mummified, I mean, they're not just, dead monkeys that have been dead for a little bit. They're mummified monkeys. Lord knows how long they've been passed away. And what was the guy going to do with these?
It's bizarre, man.
Imagine being the guy or the gal up there that discovers that. Like, you're telling a lot of people about that story, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
What are you searching up? What are you searching up?
No, I was monkeys.
No, just in general? There's a lot of types.
What's your favorite monkey, Jay?
Off the top of your head, go.
Spider monkey.
Spider monkey. You only said that because it's Talladega Nights.
Yep.
That's right.
Like, where's your Mountain Dew at?
I do like the orangutan or the howler monkey.
Ooh, there you go.
I just wouldn't want to have a howler monkey because they keep you up.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I think it would be so cool to, I would say own a chimp, no, but like to maybe be around one for a few hours or so. I think that would be kind of cool.
Extremely smart. You said this came from the Republic of Congo, right?
Yes.
Do you remember the movie Congo?
I do.
It's terrifying.
Yes.
Came out in 1995, and Amy, she was just trying to do the work of learning how to speak through sign language, and then you had those crazy silverback gorillas down there in the Congo that everybody was searching for the diamond? Right?
Yep.
The diamond.
Yep.
Amy. Good gorilla.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
But there was one monkey prior to that in the 80s that I can't remember that was part of a comedy, and I can't remember the monkey's name. But
yes. Monkeys went into space, too, as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. But they're smart. Teach them sign language. They can kind of do all that stuff. But just wild, you're at TSA or whatever you're doing, customs, obviously, Border Patrol, or not Border Patrol, but customs coming from out of the country, and your dog hits on it, and probably the last thing you expect to see in that bag is some mummified monkeys from the Republic of Congo that apparently made it into France, no problem, and made it out of France, no problem.
That's what I was searching up, Ryan.
What?
They're trying to get a monkey facility in Bainbridge, Georgia, which is just up the road.
That's what you were talking about earlier?
Yes. And they're having a little pushback from local people.
Well, what do we need to do to convince those people?
I don't know. I don't know what this monkey facility is going to do.
Are they AI
it's a
monkeys?
monkey farm.
AI monkey.
Because that sounds terrifying if that's true.
For real.
A monkey farm? Like
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. No, they made multiple movies of that. That's coming true here.
I think they got a new one coming out, like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Gotcha, like the OG, like where they came from?
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never really watched the whole one.
Did you know they're trying to get 4 people, I don't know if it's 4, maybe more than 4, Jay, to simulate living on Mars for a whole entire year?
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how much they're paying, but I could see you doing that.
Talk about living in a simulation.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not actually on Mars, but you got to act like you are on Mars.
Boys are from Mars, women are from Venus. Is that right? Is that it? But boys from...
I think it's either that or the opposite.
Yeah.
So that's right. I think you got it. But yes, that is your... any other final thoughts on the monkeys coming through the suitcases into Boston Logan International Airport?
No, but I got another story for you if you
Beautiful.
want.
Let's let it run. Let it run.
This is from WRIF.com. If you're looking for another reason to be a homebody and never leave the house, we've got you covered. There's a man in Texas who was busted putting antiques up his butt before putting them back on a shelf. So the whole thing was captured on surveillance footage at an antique store in Spring, Texas. In the video, the male customer is seen wearing a kilt and concealing items under his clothes before returning them back to the shelf. According to Fox 26 in Houston, Susan Golden, the manager of the Antique Gallery of Houston, said, "I had to watch it a couple of times to be sure I knew what I was looking at." She said in the 2 decades of running the store, she's never seen anything like this. And that's pretty wild. So the camera spotted him doing this in the several sections of the store. After it was brought to management's attention by a dealer, the items are estimated to be worth close to $200. Turns out he wasn't alone. He was joined in the store by a female companion. The two of them reportedly spent hours in the store but didn't make any purchases, according to Fox 26 Houston.
Dang.
There has been an update. The man has been found, identified, and arrested.
Oof. Wow.
What? Like
habitual antique butt putter inners.
No kidding.
Like, it would be one thing, I guess, maybe if, like, you know, that you're wearing a kilt, you ain't got no pockets, so you got to use your suitcase. Okay, like, if that's how you want to steal, go about it. But just to put them in, take them out, and...
We need to
hear
hear
in the wrong store.
Yes. Yeah, no, for sure.
We need to hear from an ER nurse who, have taken things out of.
There's a lot of good programming about that.
I bet.
People do some crazy stuff. But I'm glad to hear he at least was wearing the traditional Scottish kilt, which does not come with underbreeches, as you would say, Joe. So had he deviated from the traditional Scottish kilt and attire, he wouldn't have been able to accomplish his goal here in the
This is true. This is true.
So that was good. And the reason I found that out is because we did Death by Chocolate last year, and we had a little bit of a St. Patrick's Scottish Irish theme, and Joey Capo let me borrow his kilt, and everybody asked me, "Are you wearing it traditionally?" I'm like, "No, I'm not wearing it traditionally. We had her at an event. This thing is way too big for me. I don't want to get in trouble."
Boxers or whitey tighties?
Jay with the powerful question.
Yes, bringing the heat today.
True journalist.
Yeah, but that was in Texas.
Yeah, that was in
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Well, you can't be asked
including your butthole. Yeah.
Glance.
Say we're passing along right through that. I'm not going to answer that question. Neither, if you want to be honest.
But you just crushed it with that right there. Everything's bigger in Texas.
I mean, what the antiques are they putting in there? Books?
I don't know.
Like
there's video if you want to watch it.
No,
I'm scared to accept
sculptures and stuff like. I feel like you got to train for that.
Yeah,
you can't, that's not just something you could just decide to do one day.
This is true.
And I mean, unless you want to end up in the ER, but
like they're all around the store. It's like, hey, honey, I just got this in there.
Yeah, it's a competition.
Go smell it.
They're like, hey, can you get this one out for me? It's stuck. Man, that's three good ones.
David brought the heat with that one.
I know. You know what? We're going to task you with finding. We'll task Keith with finding tomorrow's story. But Thursday's on you.
Okay.
You got to find a couple on Thursday. That's for sure. And again, like I said earlier, if anybody wants to provide some cool, fun, the weirder the better, because that's the whole point here of the Afternoon Delight Debrief, is just to keep you all entertained and talk about some crazy stories, because there's a lot of crazy people out there, and you just never know what they're going to do. And we've covered several of them in the last few days, so we appreciate that. Didn't get to talk about it in the last segment. I guess we'll pivot to some serious conversation. But Jay, did you see some of the changes coming to the Augusta National Golf Club in the 2024 Masters?
I did not.
They have lengthened the second hole at Augusta National, which is, the par 5 down the hill, dogleg left, got that bunker in the front. A lot of eagles made on that particular hole because it was fairly short. They pushed it back 20 yards. So right there is actually where there's like a secret concessions area and a bathroom right there. It's a cool little spot behind 2 tee box. They've moved it back 20 yards, which is interesting because the shorter hitters may not be able to go for the green in 2 anymore. Obviously, it plays very short because you're hitting it downhill on that particular hole. But that lengthens the course to 7,555 yards, with the front 9 being at 3,775 yards. But Pink Dogwood just got 20 yards longer.
Yeah, and I'm visualizing that green. Obviously, it slopes left to right.
Hard from left to right, back to front on that one. That Sunday pin's always right behind that right side green side bunker.
I kind of like this because, your second approach shot into this green is downhill.
Yeah, it can be a very tough lie. You could really have that ball, you angled down with your front leg being a lot lower than your back leg.
And their landing zone typically, to that Sunday pin to the back right, their landing zone's typically about 40 yards in front of that on that front left portion of the green.
Yeah.
So I don't think adding 20, 30 yards here, I still think they go for it in 2.
Well, if you think about that hole too, a lot of guys are hitting irons into that hole because, a lot of them even hit 3-wood off the tee just to get in good position because obviously right side of the fairway on that hole is better than being left. There's a little creek that runs down in between number 1 and number 2 down that left side. You don't want to be left because that completely takes away your option to go for that hole in 2. But
when I played it in 02, it was a Sunday pin, which is back right, and the caddy I had me pointing towards a pine tree, which was 20 yards left.
Yeah.
I told him, no way. He goes, yeah, promise. And I hit it really close. And it's amazing at what those green contours are like.
That's the whole golf course. One, you got to be in position to be able to attack those hole locations, especially on Sunday.
Yeah.
But then most of the time, you're not hitting where the hole location is. You're hitting somewhere very specific to try to get as close as you can to that hole location. Yep. I love the Masters.
I do too, man.
It's exciting. It's right around the corner.
It is.
It'll be about a month away here in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So it's 6 weeks away.
Yeah, right. Well, I like the positive.
A tradition.
Like no other. This is Vern's last year, I believe.
I know. He's been doing it for 40 years?
Yeah.
It's sad.
He's the one that said, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And Jack Nicklaus.
Yep.
Man,
yep.
That was like 86.
I think he was who was the call on Tiger's chip in? Was he the call on that one too? Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He was.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Nike sure did get that one, didn't they?
Yep. Now it's Bridgestone. But I don't think we're going to be seeing any of that action with those Bridgestones.
No, we're not.
Still interesting to see he went with Bridgestone instead of something else, considering he's TaylorMade all the way else through, and Bridgestone's probably paying him a boat ton of money just to play.
TaylorMade has a good golf ball.
They do have a great golf ball. I've been playing that golf ball for a long time.
Take Pro V1s out of the mix. Favorite golf ball?
TP5X TaylorMade.
That's probably,
off the rip, huh?
Yep.
Mine's whatever I find.
Yeah.
Just circle with dimples, huh?
Yeah. Hey, it's round. It's it doesn't even have to be white this day and age. It could be yellow, it could be pink, it could be green, it could be blue. I mean, they got all the Vice golf balls. Liam's got a couple that have like paint splatter all over them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're appealing to the younger audiences. It's kind of cool.
I found a Tour Prestige on the golf course the other day.
A 90 or 100?
90.
Ooh.
And it is a much smaller ball. I compared the new ball to it is way much smaller. So the golf ball's gotten bigger.
Did you know Callaway, I don't know if they still make it or not, but they made a golf ball that was larger. It was still conforming with the USGA.
Yep.
But it was designed, I forget the name of the ball. It's going to drive me. It's
not Warbird.
No. It was really only from a couple years ago. And it was supposed to go further because you didn't, with the same swing speed, it went further, supposedly. But I don't know. There's conforming stuff. And then they're going to do the ball rollback and all that stuff. So I don't know.
Not a fan.
We don't have to do it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
We'll just I got a plethora of TaylorMade golf balls. And I just got 6 dozen more because it's a new staff year.
Uh-huh.
Just got my new driver and my new 3-wood, but it's going to be a little while before I can play with them. So
what's the name of that new one?
It's the QI10.
Okay.
And that stands for, it has 10,000 inertia. For whatever that means. It just means it's more forgiving than the last one. They always say it's more forgiving and faster and hotter and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Did you say Worcestershire sauce?
Worcestershire? What did
Worcestershire sister?
I like that one. What'd you say?
Worcestershire.
No, before that. It sounded like you said
just say more forgiving. Instead of inertia, why not TaylorMade just go more forgiving?
Inertia's cool. You can add that QI on the club.
That's true.
Although the club face is pretty interesting. It's almost got like a little rubber on it, so to speak. But I am a big fan of TaylorMade drivers, not just because I've been a staffer for going on 15 years, but I just love their drivers.
Yeah.
I think they've always been really fantastic. Shoot, I had a TaylorMade Firesoul driver when I was a kid. You remember that one?
I don't.
It was
remember
offset too. That's what was crazy.
Was that after the burner?
Before the burner.
Before the burner. Oh,
it was before. You remember the R series, like the R540, R520, R580. It was right before that one. It was all like burnt orange in color, and it literally said Firesoul on the bottom of it.
I remember.
I was so excited
spoon.
when I got that. Ooh, yeah. You remember the old Titleist PT fairway woods that Tiger used as an amateur?
I do.
Those things were sweet.
Man, they were.
It's hard to hit, but they were sweet.
Yeah.
They were sweet. Did you have something, David?
Real quick, speaking of non-conforming, what if we came together to build a driver that whenever you make contact with a ball, it's got some little holes in there, and Vaseline comes out and gives you that spin. I heard that if you put Vaseline or chapstick on your driver, it
makes it go straighter, right?
Yeah, so there you go, man.
It reduces that.
You don't even got to keep reapplying; it's just ready to go.
Yeah, it'd be tough to come up with the physics on how to keep the inside of the club head from getting air from the outside, but we'll figure it out. We're all engineers here on the inside.
Come on, Jay, take the lead.
Yes, this is right up your alley. And when we get back, I want to talk to you fine gentlemen about the new Major League Baseball jerseys that some people like and a lot of people don't. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This Saturday, it's a college basketball doubleheader as the Washington Huskies travel to the McHale Memorial Center in Tucson to take on the Wildcats of Arizona. Coverage starts at 12:30. Then, your number 14th ranked Auburn Tigers are in Athens to battle the Georgia Bulldogs. Coverage starts at 4:30. Tip-off at 5 on your home for college basketball on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Sunshine the remainder of the day with a gentle breeze at 9 miles per hour coming out of the west, and look for it to be 61. Tonight there will be clear skies with the temperature reaching 48. Sunny tomorrow with a wind around 5 miles per hour and a high of 66. Thursday we'll have a high of 67 and some sun. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
My name is Linda Cope, founder and president of Warrior Beach Retreat. Line the streets February 22nd to honor the men and women who have served and sacrificed for the freedoms we enjoy. Attend the ceremony, which is free and open to the public, February 22nd at 7 p.m. at First Baptist Church of Panama City. Colonel Alan West will be the speaker. Information for the parade route and ceremony are on our website, warriorbeachretreat.org. Never forget, freedom isn't free. We saw this firsthand after our son, Army retired Sergeant Joshua Cope, lost both legs above the knee and wounded his hands by an IED blast in Baghdad, Iraq. When a soldier goes to war, a family goes to war. We are a local 501c3 charity not affiliated with Wounded Warrior Project. Donations are needed and much appreciated for us to continue the vision to bring hope and healing for the combat wounded warriors and their loved ones. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Coming in hot.
So hot.
It'll be a hot one. Really hot.
Goddamn. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in Bay County. It is getting warmer by the minute. It's supposed to be in the 70s later on this week, so get out and do whatever you love that's outside, Jay. I know you built a big basketball hoop over the weekend. So
yes.
I'm assuming that's going to get some action coming up this weekend?
It will.
There you go. Little horse, little pig.
Uh-huh.
Whatever you're going to play. Knockout?
Knockout's
21. One of my favorites. 21, yeah. Ooh, I haven't played 21 in forever. Man, good times.
Some other good little games.
Around the World?
Around the World's a good one. I forgot about that one.
I know. I'm surprised I remembered about that one.
Huh.
David Hayes has got one. I can feel it.
Oh, I wonder, is Around the World in school the same thing, or is Around the World just around the perimeter?
I think Around the World is like you set
at the block.
wherever you really want to set all the shots from, and then whoever completes it first, right, is the winner.
Yeah, we maybe that's the same exact game. I'm not sure, but school, like, you start at the block down at the bottom, and then you work through each free throw and or spot on the and the key, essentially. Yeah. And then you go to the free throw line, go around, and you get like one chance. If you miss your chance, then you start back at the beginning, or you don't have to take the chance, all that good stuff.
Those are the best.
I've been shooting a lot by myself lately, and so I'll play against myself.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about basketball.
Let me ask you guys a question. When you're playing pig or horse, are you more of a...
My dad always made me play turd.
Well, that turd's a good one. Yeah, it's a really good one.
That's how I learned how to spell turd correctly.
Are you doing like some crazy behind the back stuff, like one-legged? Or are you trying to like penny, kind of play like off the backboard layups, or
depends on who I'm playing.
Oh yeah,
like when I play against Liam, there's only I can only go so far back to pull the trigger. But when I was growing up playing against my dad, I was shooting from behind the hoop, trying to do whatever you can, bouncing it off the ground, throwing it backwards from the free throw line.
Are you trying to win every game against Liam? Like, are you just trying to
Yeah, and he actually prefers me to do that as well. He? Yeah, and if he thinks that I'm taking it easy or missing something on purpose, he'll let me know.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm not, but sometimes it just isn't so good, so it goes that way. But that's the beautiful thing about basketball, that is for sure. But, I want to pivot to this baseball jersey topic. So it's kind of going over all the news and all that stuff. But the Nike Vapor Premier jerseys are the new ones that they just debuted here in spring training. They're manufactured by Fanatics. It's what they're claiming is more of a performance baseball jersey. It's 25% more stretchy, and it is 28%, and it dries 28% faster than last year's jersey. It was actually debuted at last year's All-Star game just to try it out, and a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of players do say it's a little lighter, a little faster, and a lot of players say that they feel like it's a replica jersey, and obviously the lettering on the back is a little more curved, a little more small, but the whole point that the MLB came out and said was, look, they're just trying to make the jersey fit better, perform better, all that stuff. But the feedback's been across both sides. I don't know if you've talked about this, David, or not on the show. So I'd love to get y'all's thoughts on. It does remind you a little bit of the Seinfeld episode. You remember the Seinfeld episode where Costanza, saw that they were wearing polyester jerseys and then switched them to cotton, and I think they shrank or something like that. It screwed up everything. So it kind of made me think about that a little bit. But I mean, it's in a day and age where we're always trying to find a way to get better, faster, more comfortable, perform better. So what are y'all's thoughts on these new jerseys? Jay, I'll let David go first because he's got some experience talking about this, and I'll let you gather your thoughts a little more.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I've read multiple places that these are Nike logo manufactured by Fanatics, right? Well, Rob Manfred says we always pay attention to what people are saying about any new initiative. As you know, in baseball, with any new initiative, there's going to be some negative feedback. First and most important, these are Nike jerseys. We entered into this partnership with Nike because of who they are and the kinds of products they produce. So I don't know if we're going to get to the actual bottom of that. I would be embarrassed if I was Nike and they're having Fanatics.
Yeah, I thought that was strange.
Exactly.
You're a clothing manufacturing company.
Fanatics is in this season, if you will, where they're just kind of like an umbrella.
Yeah, they're trying to take over everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you've ever gotten any clothing from them, but I've never really got something that I'm like, man, I cannot wait to order from them again.
I would agree with that 100%.
I don't like their hats very much. I think that they might fit other people better, but I just never am like, the size is always wrong. The quality of it, it just doesn't last very long, in my opinion, on it. And so these jerseys kind of, they kind of represent that because you got the curvature of the letters. I don't like that. Normally I'm a person who, if the masses are going that way, then I'll go the opposite way. No, I'm right here with the masses on this. These jerseys are garbage. If the players like them, that's that's fine. That's what matters, right? That's what they're made for. But it seems like the consensus is the players who don't have sponsorships with Nike are speaking the truth. The players who have sponsorships with
like,
Nike,
oh, they're the best.
Oh yeah, these are great. I just don't understand understand why fix something that's not broken. I don't know how the jerseys were broken. I've heard complaints about the pants. My wonder is, though, are these going to be regular season jerseys, or is this just like a spring training type deal? Because if it's a spring training type deal, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, I think it's the whole season, because I don't know if it was the commissioner or somebody I was reading about was saying, no, wait till the middle of July when you're playing, in a 95-degree game, and they're fitting more comfortable, they're drying quicker, and then come back and talk to me. So it sounds like they're a jersey that's going to be used for the entire season.
Which, how often when the season starts is there snow still around and stuff? Like, often. That makes a lot of sense too. Hey, let's push these out in June, July, in the dog days of the summer, which that's not the dog days, but once it starts heating up for them, I don't know. I really loved baseball's jerseys before, and I'm a fan of the City Connects because it brings something different to it, but that's the thing that I love about baseball. White at the house, gray on the road. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, that's let's just keep baseball as we're doing too much, man. We're doing too much. The kids are gonna love it just the same. Just wear your City Connects every now and again. Yep. Don't even wear them once a week, man.
Well, that's what happens. You start doing this stuff too much,
you end up like the NBA.
And you've flooded the market, and you've gone, and it's it's people sitting around in executive boardrooms and thinking it's a good idea, and once you put it out there, and then once you put it out there, you can't recall. I mean, you could recall it if they wanted to. What do you think, Jay?
I did like when the Braves went with their Sunday red
on Fridays.
Well,
they did the Sunday red, and then they moved that kind of to like a Friday home games. They were wearing red.
I like what you did there, though, with the little knock in the Tiger red, Sunday red. But you said it as one word, so
yeah, you can't do it. I don't know. I mean, thinking back on my baseball days, I felt like I'd kind of reached the big time whenever you have the button. I mean, keep the buttons. Yeah. Right. You got to keep the buttons.
Have to have the buttons.
I think white and gray versus, with the Braves, white being home, gray being away. I mean, just tradition. Keep the tradition going. But I don't know, the whole sleeve thing with the quick concrete, and you keep adding all these sponsorships and stuff. I don't know about all that. Yeah. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But anyway.
Now, let me ask you guys, is that like a team sponsorship, or it's not individuals?
Yeah, that's a team sponsorship. Okay. The Braves, that was probably about halfway through the season, which I don't mind that one, just because really since Brandon Phillips came over to the Braves, you started noticing the yellow accents more now. Ronald Acuna Jr. goes wild with it. Yellow, Catching Gear's got a lot of yellow in it. So I kind of thought that at least if you are going to have a sponsorship, it was one of those that in some way blended in with the jersey. But I'm not a big fan of it. Caveman Rick's got a really good idea on this. What about a business that's in that area that everyone knows that they become the jersey sponsor and don't put a patch on? And people know that they're the jersey sponsor.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, people would be like, hey, thanks for keeping our stuff the same and paying for it to continue to be the same. So there's other I think it was the Mets that had like a red logo for their sponsor, and it's just like, all right, you're blue and orange. Why do we have any red on this? And I think from the business standpoint, it's like, well, it stands out, which is great, but man, I wish that they would look at it like, and I know I'm not in business, so there's a reason why, I don't got a whole lot of sponsorships and advertising on the afternoon show, right? Because I'm just not good at this stuff.
Whatever, dude.
Well, no, I'm saying about getting the advertising and selling and all that good stuff, right? So basically what I'm prefacing is that I have no weight in this conversation, right? But my thing is these businesses are basically, they're caring more about their business getting shine out of this, which makes sense from the business proposition, but it should be, in my opinion, should be more like, hey, we support what it is that you're doing. So, but that's not how business works. So
well, it's and that's the whole point, right? You had something that was from last year. Now that they're trying to market to the consumers. They can say it's about the players, but let's be honest. I don't know what the number is on jersey sales every year, but I'm sure it is tens of millions of dollars. And if it's a new jersey in the new year, the people that are diehards that have to have the newest jersey, they're going to go buy that jersey. So it's merchandising, it's marketing, it's so many other things. I liken it to the golf business. I mean, mean, you had that giant paradigm shift from cotton golf shirts to polyester golf shirts, and it really happened when Under Armour came out. And now it's, I mean, every golf shirt nowadays, there's maybe one or two brands that actually still make cotton 100% golf shirts, but they've found a way technologically to make polyester golf shirts feel just like cotton, if not a little better. And it moisture wicks. You know, you don't see the old guys come. I mean, you still see them, the guys that are cotton diehards and won't change. They come off the golf course in the summer and the shirt is completely drenched. You don't see that with the polyester. But again, it's another reason for somebody to buy another golf shirt. So at the end of the day, that's what it all kind of boils down to, in my opinion, is they're trying to figure. The comments on this Facebook post from last segment are pretty outlandish. Yeah, there's some good ones there, especially from Cliff and Cape Man. Just making some stuff happen there, that's for sure. But yes, interesting to see anytime there's a change, you know. And but we'll see what the consumers do when it comes to a sales standpoint with the new jerseys and stuff like that. But Jay, we got about 5 minutes left in this segment. We were going to jump into it when we were struggling getting Doc A on the line, but yeah, NASCAR. What all went down yesterday? I saw the last about 30 laps or so, and it was pretty exciting. Had a couple wrecks coming in, had a big one there with about 8 laps to go, but who ended up coming out on top?
Oh, we got kids in school listening to us. That's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're at lunch. Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Jay's over here dry snitching.
yeah.
I didn't say the name or whoever.
That's true.
Very fair.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
You're distracted by the kids listening at lunch. Hey, that's good. See if that school wants to be a part of the show. Yeah. But no, the NASCAR race got postponed from Sunday to Monday, the Daytona 500, because of the weather. Ended up having a somewhat new driver get the dub yesterday. And tell us a little bit about that.
William Byron started out as a computer racer back in probably 2017, 18. And then he wins the Daytona 500. You can't make this stuff up.
Nope, that's pretty crazy stuff. You were talking about this at length last week with, they're not getting out there 2 weeks in advance and running on the track and testing and all that stuff anymore because of all the simulators and all that stuff. Yes, sir, David Hayes.
William Byron won the championship last year.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
but he wins the Daytona 500.
Yeah, no, he's off to a roaring start already.
He picked up right where he left off.
Yeah, that's 24 car, boys. Jeff Gordon's still driving it from somewhere.
But I like Richard Childress. You know, they interviewed Richard Childress, who is the owner of him and Alex Bowman, who finished second in the Daytona 500. They interviewed Richard last night, and he said, you know what, it's so great to be here in Victory Lane at the Daytona 500 because we were here 40 years ago to the day, and he didn't even feel like they belonged at Daytona.
Yeah.
And so you fast forward 40 years, and you're sitting in Victory Lane. What a great story.
1 and 2. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it wasn't Byron. Byron had a great run last year. It was Blaney.
Yes.
Blaney.
David, right? David Blaney?
Ryan.
Yeah. It was one of our names. Yeah. I knew that.
But yeah, Blaney, man, you don't want to be in his car at Daytona. He flips every time.
He's just one of those guys, yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. Thought your boy Martin Truex was going to have a run there, but then he got caught up in that big wreck at about 8 laps to go-ish?
Yep.
It always seems like it's at the end because everybody's jockeying for position and pushing it, and it always seems like at the end you start to see those wrecks. Because that was almost having to be, what do they call it when it's the race?
The big one?
No, what do they call it when it ends in like is it a
green-white
checkered or when you have a caution that ends the race?
Yeah.
And you almost had that because that wreck did happen on the final lap, but I guess those guys passed the start-finish line as the wreck was kind of going on. Yep. So NASCAR officially came out and ruled that the old 2-4 car, William Byron, got the dub.
Young dude, man. They're all young, it seems.
Yeah. It does seem that way, bro.
That's just because we're getting old.
Yeah, well, I guess
that's for sure.
But to see the difference, if you watched the Xfinity race last night after the Daytona 500, the Xfinity cars they're 10 years. They look more boxier, like the old NASCAR. But the safety inside that Xfinity versus the actual Cup car is insane.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
You think
to
it
me,
would be similar?
No, because if you looked inside that Xfinity car, there was not a lot of protection with those guys as much as the Cup cars. But they're running the same speeds, same everything. But I was wrong though. There wasn't any Cup guys last night actually like jump cars into the Xfinity. That would have been too much, I think.
Shoot, running all that in one day, I get tired driving 2 hours.
Yeah, right.
And that's going at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Which can be also very stressful depending on the traffic situation and all that. But, big congratulations to William Byron on winning the Daytona 500 and getting the 2024 NASCAR season kicked off. And here we are again. We'll be talking about Talladega before we know it.
Atlanta this Sunday.
Ooh.
Which is another restrictor plate race, which they didn't typically. Because at Atlanta, if you went to a race at Atlanta, after about the third or fourth lap, they were just all over the place. You didn't know who was leading.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just.
They got spread out so much. Yeah.
And it was no fun as a fan, but now they've got the restrictor plate, and you'll see them nose to tail most of a race, and it'll be very similar to Daytona this week.
Nice.
So,
yeah. Coming up this Sunday. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. David, did you have something?
No.
Okay, perfect, because we're going to go ahead and take a break, and then we'll be our final segment of this beautiful Tuesday on The Inside Drive. We appreciate you listening. And again, go follow us on TikTok. That's The Inside Drive. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdog.
I don't think that many fans really honestly care about these players making money, and they should be allowed to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. Now, with it being and I'm using the air quotes here, amateur sport, it shouldn't be paid to play. Yeah, there you go. But it should not be,
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia. Stop by Bill Bird Kia during the President's Day sales event going on now and drive away the new 2024 Kia. Now offering 4.25% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sportage. You get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sportage with $2,267 per month per 1,000 financed at 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 3/4/24.
Hi folks, I'm Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Me and my I Do crew have 50 years experience, and we have more certified diamonds in stock at the best prices in town. So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, come see me, your diamond girl, and my I Do crew at Tracy's Fine Jewelry, because we don't work on commissions. We work for smiles and I Do's.
Welcome to the Inside Drive, the next big thing.
It's a big, huge, giant deal.
Sports betting, huge reactions, your calls and real-time coverage of the stories you're following. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. It's our final segment of this Tuesday edition of the Inside Drive, live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, I'm going to say it a bunch unless you just decide you don't want to follow it, but I'm going to keep saying it until you follow it. And if you did follow us, thank you very much. We did recently start a TikTok page because we're trying to be like all the cool kids, Jay, and get a little bit more information out there about specifically here the Inside Drive and all the fun that we have on a daily basis. We appreciate all of our listeners. And again, if you got any local sports information, doesn't have to be middle school, doesn't have have to be high school. It can be any local sports. Just send it to me, and we will talk about it on the air, because that is one of our favorite things to talk about, is all the wonderful youth athletes we have here in Bay County. And some breaking news a little bit. I guess breaking news. I think we all saw it was coming. It kind of started right before the show, but we'll talk about it here real quick. The College Football Playoff unanimously approves the 5+7 model for the new 12-team playoff. We knew the 12-team playoff was happening. It starts this upcoming college football season, but the vote did go through to add the 5+12 format, basically meaning the power. There's 4 power conferences now that the Pac-12 pretty much. I mean, it still exists, but there's just 2 schools left in there. So you're going to have the four main Power 4 conferences there. They'll get an automatic bid into it, and then you'll get the best group of 5 team will round out that 5th spot, and then the last 7 teams will be the best at-large bids in that one, which will all be part of that college football ranking. So
there's a Power 4, and but there's 5 spots, right?
Yeah, so that last spot is will be the best group of 5 team in the group of 5 conferences. The Sun Belt, all those other ones besides, your Big 12, Big 10, SEC, and ACC, which are your Power 4. Pac-12's only got 2 teams left. Even though it still technically exists, they're going to be playing with a lot of Mountain West teams as far as their schedules go and all that stuff. So it was officially adopted as we are approaching a new era in the college football world as we get ever so closely to we got a long way to go, but we'll say ever so close to the start of the college football season.
So that 5th one, is that still a gray area as far as is that going to be voted upon for that?
Well, it's going to be part of that college football playoff rankings.
Okay.
So it'll be whatever I think, and I'm just kind of speculating because I don't know super details without reading the whole article. I'm speculating besides those 4 conferences that I just mentioned, it's going to be the highest ranked team out of the group of 5 conferences will get that 5th spot.
Gotcha.
Those are like automatic 5. Is that kind of how it would?
Technically, yeah. I mean, that's exactly how it is, except for it might not be the 5th spot. They could be 4, 3, 2, or 1. Like,
depending on where they're ranked in the college football playoff. But basically, those are the 5 guaranteed spots versus the other 7 are at large. They can be from any conference and that kind of stuff.
And first week will be a bye week, I'm assuming
for the top 4.
Okay,
yeah, that's a little different. That's a whole nother. This is just identifying how those 12 teams will be determined.
Gotcha.
And we'll learn a lot more about the official, how it's going to work, the dates. I do know that the semifinals and the final will be like they have been, but then the other New Year's 6 bowls will, I guess, the quarterfinal matchups with. There's supposedly the top 4 teams will get a first round bye, and then the top 4 ranked teams will play the last 4 ranked teams, but they'll play at their home college there in that one. So
makes sense.
It's going to be different, but I think it's for the better.
I think so too.
We're going to find out if there's some crazy things that can happen. It's much more like professional sports where you can have a team kind of come out of nowhere, a little bit like those Florida Panthers did in the NHL last year, like the Miami Heat did in the NBA last year, and some could say kind of like the Diamondbacks did a little bit in the MLB. So it'll make for more parity, I think. Or it'll just be Georgia and Alabama and Michigan and Ohio State like it always is, too. We'll find out.
Yep.
Time will tell. That is for certain. We got some. I got to give a shout out to the University Academy, like I always do. They got 3 games today across the 3 sports that are currently being. Not that it matters, because basically we'll have. There is a game today, and I forget which one it is. And Chris Fall, I apologize for not knowing this. There is one playoff spot still available based on the rankings. So there is. I think it's Surfside playing somebody. Whoever wins that game gets the number 4 seed in the boys basketball top 4 playoff matchups. Chris Fall will be in studio with us again this Thursday to preview the semifinal playoff games on Thursday, and then the championship will be on next Tuesday. But you got the UA boys basketball taking on Breakfast Point. That's going to be at 4 p.m. UA baseball, as I mentioned earlier in the show, they are playing Seaside at 4:30 today. So those boys will be able to get out of school just a little bit early to make that trip over there to Seaside. And then, of course, UA girls soccer finishing their season, trying to go 7 0-1 with a match against Breakfast Points, a home match for us over there at Public Sports Park at 4 p.m. So good luck to all those University Academy teams. And also the college baseball and softball rankings have been announced for this second week. Wake Forest still hanging at that number 2 spot, even though Arkansas lost a game, or number 1 spot for Wake Forest. I don't know why I said 2. Arkansas in that number 2 spot, even though they were the 3 spot and ended up losing a game, they moved up a spot, but that's because the other 2 teams that they beat were pretty powerful. LSU at number 3, Florida dropping one of those games this opening weekend, dropped down from the number 2 spot to the number 4 spot, followed by TCU, Vandy, Oregon State, one of our favorite Pac-12 schools. I mean, there's only 2 of them, so they'll be our favorite. Followed by Texas A&M, Tennessee, Clemson, East Carolina, Duke, NC State, Virginia, North Carolina, Texas. Alabama is now up to 17. Iowa 18. Texas Tech, UCLA, South Carolina, UC Santa Barbara, even though they got swept by Campbell. Not swept, but they lost the series to Campbell, dropped from number 16 to number 22. Indiana, with that victory over Coastal Carolina University, moves to the 23 spot. Kansas State, and then Coastal Carolina going 1 for 2 in their opening weekend against 2 good teams they lost to, is holding down that number 25 spot. So that is your top 25 on the college baseball Division I rankings. And then over there on the softball side, which we're going to start diving a lot more into, because I don't know if you watch a lot of college softball, Jay Henley, but it is entertaining and fast and intense and just a lot of fun to watch. But the SEC, I should say, they're not officially in the SEC yet, right? The Oklahoma and Texas.
No, that would be next year.
That'd be next year.
Okay.
But we can pretend, and if that was the case, then the SEC would have the top 1, 2, and 3 teams, with Oklahoma being ranked number 1, Texas being ranked number 2, Georgia 3, Washington 4, Tennessee Volunteers 5, LSU 6. That would basically, if we were next year, you'd have 5 out of the top 6 softball teams this week in the Division I softball rankings would be in the top 6. Pretty impressive there. Followed by Duke, Oklahoma State, Stanford, Clemson, Missouri, Alabama, tied at number 11, Kentucky at number 13, FSU at number 14, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Arizona, South Carolina, Baylor, Florida, Mississippi State, California, Northwestern, UCLA, and then Boston University cracking the top 25 there, which is pretty cool to see that going on. So good stuff there in those college softball rankings, and the season is getting underway and going to be a lot of fun to watch. And what I just, like I said yesterday, ESPN Plus, man, it's you can watch all these games on there, which is pretty special. You know, especially if you're trying to follow specific teams.
The women's softball, man, they get after it.
Oh yeah,
they do.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a that softball's on you very, very quickly in that batter's box.
Yes. I want to give a shout out to Bozeman Middle School basketball. I know today is going to be their last, game of the year.
Yeah.
But
it's a quick season.
It's a quick season, and this is their first year.
Show.
It is a good show.
We're having a good show.
But congratulations to Coach Alford, and I've seen the boys throughout the season, and they've gotten better each and every time. They put up 32 points up against University Academy this past week, and they've grown. So shout out to Bozeman Bucks Middle School basketball.
There you go. Yep. There you go. It's cool for you to be a part of that this season, and as quickly as it comes, as quickly as it goes.
It goes quick.
What I do like about what the middle schools do here is there's no overlapping. Obviously, in high school you have some overlap with some different sports. With the middle schools, it's all separate seasons, and they do a good job allowing kids that do play in multiple sports. Just because of the experience I have with UA, you've got a lot of the same girls that played on the volleyball team, that played on the basketball team, that play on the soccer team, that are going to run on the track team. So it's nice that they separate it out, and then they obviously still have the opportunities to be with their travel and club teams or whatever it may be. But we are approaching March Madness very, very quickly, and a lot of people saying it's UConn versus everyone. They are the unanimous number 1 seed and have been the unanimous number 1 seed in the polls since January 15th. They are defending national champion. They have 2 lottery-ish picks that'll be going to the NBA draft next year. And they also have one important wild card, that fella who trolls teams when they're up by 30. But they smoked Marquette this past Sunday by 28 and have won 14 straight games in a row. And for the non-diehards, it's about to be that time of year where college basketball is going to be pushed into the forefront. That is for sure. So, Jay, what do you think? UConn Huskies get the dub again, back-to-back national champions?
Ooh, this is women's college basketball?
No, this is men's.
This is men's.
Yeah.
Because UConn's always been a great women's basketball program,
absolutely.
too.
Gino Auriemma.
Yeah. Sure, let's go UConn.
There you go.
But what about Auburn, though? We keep talking to Brad Law. No, they don't play good on the road, right?
They don't play good on the road, and they didn't play great last Saturday against Kentucky. But we'll see. They still got Tennessee. Both Alabama and Auburn still have Tennessee to finish out the season, and I think Tennessee's somewhere around 5 or 6 or something like that. But they're also saying that LeBron Warriors deal could be revisited. Mr. Windhorst said, "I would be a fool to rule out LeBron James' trade to the Warriors from the Lakers." Do you think that matters? Do you think he would bring anything to make the Warriors? Because they're floating around there. Both the Lakers and the Warriors are floating around in that. Because now they do 10 spots, and you got the play-in games and all that stuff. So,
and we're at 21 years. LeBron's been in the NBA, right?
20 straight All-Star games.
Gosh, I mean, how many?
Where
does
is
he
time
got?
going?
I know. How many does he have left in him? Is what I
don't think a whole lot.
Which he did. It was like 17 or 18 when he came on in the NBA. It seems pretty young.
Well, he came out of high school.
Yeah,
he was right before. I'm pretty sure he was one of the last few guys that were able to come out of high school. Kobe came out of high school before they changed. You had to play at least 1 year in college, or you had to do one of one of those other NBA leagues.
Okay, so you can't come straight out of high school now. I did not know that.
Not anymore, and I don't think I'm mistaken in that, David. Is that correct? You can't come right from high school to the NBA anymore.
No.
Yeah, they changed.
You can go to the G League.
Yes, the NBA G League can go. That's what both Ball brothers did, right?
One of them went. So you had LiAngelo, I believe, went overseas. I think LaMelo and LiAngelo went overseas.
Yeah.
And was Lonzo? He went to UCLA, I believe.
That's right. He did go to UCLA. He did go. So he played a year in college there.
Let me ask y'all a crazy question here,
please.
Yeah, the UFL coming up in the spring.
USFL.
USFL.
No, UFL.
Oh, it is UFL?
Is it UFL?
Because United got it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jay. I didn't mean to correct you incorrectly.
That's okay. That's all right. What? Are you guys gonna watch that?
Yeah, of course.
Are you?
It's football.
Okay.
Did you see that AJ McCarron was requesting a release? Yeah, David Hayes' face says differently.
I know, right?
I mean, I'm going to keep up with it. Like, there, But
am I going to be? Am I going to be? Putting on my gear and pacing around the house all morning before the games? No. But I'll tune in watching football. But with that being said, you see AJ McCarron asked for a release from the
Bengals?
Yeah, from the Bengals, so he could join the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Good, man. He was the MVP last year. Yeah, that was awesome for him. And his kids are the reason why he did that, so that they could actually watch him play football. I was really hoping he was going to get a crack at it last year.
Yeah.
But Jake Browning did a great job stepping in for Joe Burrow, so you didn't want to mess with that.
Yeah, he did. But I think that's cool, man. And it just shows they want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're getting that NFL contract as a backup third-string quarterback, whatever it may be, they still want to play football.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool, and I hope they do it, and then I hope he still has an opportunity to go back and kind of bounce back and forth a little bit. I don't know how that'll all work out, but thought it was pretty cool that A.J. McCarron there made that stuff happen.
Yeah.
Chris Fall with an interesting comment. He said, put UConn in the Big 12, and they'll have at least 6 losses.
Yeah, Big 12's going crazy this year.
Yeah, they are.
That's why I went with Baylor, because it's like someone out of the Big 12 might win it this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a fun March Madness. There's going to be a lot of parity, I think, in this one.
I think so.
Looking forward to getting the brackets done and all that stuff. But another fun show. We'll do it again one more time tomorrow. Got a couple guests lined up. We'll have Amy Bond, the FSU women's golf coach, on the line with us tomorrow at 11:20, as we'll be talking about their season is underway and rocking and rolling. And then we'll have Keith Fleming joining us at the top of the hour. He'll bring us an Afternoon Delight debrief story. Don't forget, you got Afternoon Underdogs coming up this afternoon at 4 p.m. with David Hayes and the rest of that crew. We appreciate you tuning in and listening. Go follow us on TikTok, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins,